football. Honestly, y'all, I'm sure, have witnessed several Jalen Hurts conversations. There will be no greater Jalen Hurts conversation you will likely hear this year than the Jalen Hurts conversation you're about to hear. I'm sitting next to the Eagles' all-time rushing leader. I'm sitting next to one of the greatest wide receivers the Eagles have ever seen wear that midnight green. So let's get into it while talking about the Eagles quarterback. Shady McCoy, you played with a lot of great Eagles quarterbacks, from Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Nick Foles, amongst others. So what's this current quarterback, Jalen Hurts, have to prove this season?
Dang, man, when he said that DeSean Jackson, one of the best wide receivers than myself, some memories, man.
The Eagles legend.
Back. You know, he took my first little dance move.
Did he?
At the time, it was the, who was that? He used to do
That was the jerk.
He's doing a jerk. I said, okay,
You know what? Now we're here. No,
my bad.
don't apologize. I got a question. Who created the Shady Bounce?
Oh, me?
Shady Bounce.
Crazy?
Did you do it in Pitt, or did the Shady Bounce become an Eagle? Was it
can't
Eagles?
celebrate Pitt.
That came to Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles.
He started
It's a part of the end zone when I'm in there.
Was it? Did you do it your rookie year, or did you wait until you were 2'5"?
Yeah, when I was the man, I started doing that. I was a rookie man, you know. It was the DJ show. I had to just fall in line. You know what I mean? Had me blocking, doing
I
screens
need to
anyway.
look up the origins of the Shady Bounce. Okay, I get it. I won't get distracted. 2'5". What's Hurts got to prove this season?
He got to prove that he's not just a one-hit wonder, right? The year that everybody fell in love with him, he couldn't do no wrong, right? We was down, we needed to win, he found a way to win. We was down, we couldn't score, find a way to score. That's who Jalen Hurts was. We watched him get better and better and better. See, in Philadelphia, I told DeSean this earlier, everybody can't play there. A dude like Jalen Hurts got that thick skin, that he can play there, got that attitude. He ain't soft. He ain't no Ben Simmons. You see what I'm saying? He could fit in Philadelphia. But I got to be honest, I need him to show back up, to make sure that, hey, the things I thought about him, the way I felt about him as a player is real. When America watched him play, he's so good, MVP candidate, right? All pro, hard to do. Is that real? Super Bowl, taking the team to the Super Bowl and balling out in the Super Bowl. Is that real? I think when you think about the Eagles, you talk about how our defense last year wasn't that good. Because they weren't. Let's be honest. They was like, what, ranked 30th or something like that. They didn't want to tackle, didn't want to play. But Jalen Hurts, I feel like he is so good that he could change that and elevate everybody on the team. I need to see that, because if not, we're going to be in trouble. The defense is probably going a little better. We made some moves, got some guys in the secondary, but they are young. We're going to need Jalen Hurts to carry us. DeSean said it earlier. We paid all our wide receivers for a reason, because they're that good. We had a really good running back last year. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift, this year we got even better. Saquon Barkley. So he has all the tools and players around him, and he has the coaching around him. It's up to him to be that same Jalen Hurts we fell in love with.
Jack, it looks like you are thinking, big dog. What have your thoughts garnered? What's Hurts got to prove this season?
Man, you see me taking my time over here. I'm kind of like, hesitant to get into this. But honestly, man, it's going to hurt to say this because I love Jalen Hurts, man. Okay. I think, I'm a big advocate for him. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen him since day one come in that organization and change and spark up instantly. So for me, Jalen, it's a make or break year for you, man, honestly. Wow. It's a make or break. And the reason why I say that is because he got the contract. He got $250 million. We rewarded him. And he's deserving of it. I'm going to say that first and foremost. He's definitely deserving of that. Losing the last five out of the 6 games, that hurts me last year. We started 10-1, right? And we just going to downhill. So this year we're hearing Nick Sirianni. We hire Kellen Moore to come in. This is a big piece of the offense, and we're restructuring it to get it together for this year, right? So the redemption year is big.
Redemption year.
I'm calling it the redemption year. Like my boy just said, we paid everybody. The 2 guys outside, we got the best receivers in the league, first and foremost, let me say that. We got A.J. Brown, we got Devontae Smith on the outside. We bring in Saquon Barkley. I mean, it don't get no better than this.
That's right.
And I got to touch on the playoff record. I mean, he's 2-3. I like his touchdowns, though. 10 touchdowns and 3 turnovers. So we need some more of that play in the regular season.
Yeah.
Less turnovers and just manage the ball. Jalen, you don't have to do it all yourself. We bring in a running game. Let's run the ball and distribute the ball. Let's make it easy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think this year is big. It's a redemption year, and it's a make or break year for him.
Well said. It's been good. It's been good. It's been good. Let me try to add a little bit to it. Dave, you'll appreciate what I'm about to say. I was introduced to Jalen Hurts, the football player, before the Eagles were introduced to Jalen Hurts, the football player, because I'm a college football analyst on the weekend. So I've been watching Jalen Hurts since 2016. Jalen Hurts has to prove he can land punches that he telegraphs. What do I mean? When Jalen Hurts is not known, that's when he's his best. 2016 SEC, first-time Offensive Player of the Year as a freshman. Nobody knew who Jalen Hurts was, and he delivered in the best way. But by his sophomore year, we became a little bit familiar with Jalen Hurts. So in the biggest of moments, on the biggest of stage, Jalen Hurts had to get benched for Tua Tagovailoa, so Tua Tagovailoa could go in and beat Georgia in the national championship game. We now know who Jalen Hurts is. His third year, he loses a job to Tua Tagovailoa, and then he transfers to Oklahoma. We did not know of Oklahoma Jalen Hurts because he had been in the SEC. Leads Oklahoma to a college football playoff. Once again, when he's unknown, he does his best. When he's known, he does not necessarily perform at the highest level. Cut to the National Football League. He was a second-round pick, fifth quarterback taken. Nobody knew who he was. His first snap was actually at the wide receiver position because Carson Wentz was a starter. His second year, he was 8-7, still didn't know who he was. His third year is an unknown. He takes the Eagles to a Super Bowl. But by his fourth year, when the punch is now telegraphed in Jalen Hurts, we know that you're coming. Now you have 15 interceptions because Jalen Hurts, we've seen you coming. You're not sneaking up on us anymore. When Jalen Hurts is an unknown commodity, he plays his best. But Jalen Hurts is no longer sneaking up on anybody because his bank account precedes his name. So Jalen Hurts has to prove he can land a punch that he telegraphs. Everybody knew DeSean Jackson was fast. And DeSean Jackson still ran by you.
That's true.
Everybody knew Shady could cut on a dime. And Shady McCoy would still make you slip and fall as you tried to meet him in the hole. They telegraphed their punches, and they still drew blood. Jalen Hurts, can you land the punches that you telegraph? That's what he needs to prove to me this season.
That's well said.
I like that. I don't like following you up when you give these speeches. It's not fun for me. This is what I want to see from Jalen Hurts. I know he's a good player. I think he'll be a good player this year. The Eagles have one of the most talented rosters in the league, especially on offense. I'm not worried about that as long as he's healthy.
Okay.
Can Jalen Hurts keep this train on the tracks?
What do you mean?
In Philadelphia? I'll tell you what I mean. The Eagles look like a great team. The Eagles have a lot of potential to be a disaster if things go poorly. Think about that. First of all, I'm here with two longtime Eagles.
Just know that.
Be careful.
Just know that.
You see me turn. Be careful when you talk.
Just know that. But go ahead. Just know that.
Y'all will agree with this.
Okay.
This is Philadelphia. There are very few cities that care as much, as deeply about this team. So with the way last season ended, you already got that. You already got the whole fan base watching everything that goes on here, analyzing every practice update. You got a team full of huge, loud, prideful personalities, whether it's A.J. Brown, whether it's Saquon Barkley coming from a messy divorce with a division rival right up the road. You don't think these guys have a lot of ambition, a lot of hopes that this season goes well? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's back on the defense. It's one of the biggest personalities in the NFL. Philadelphia's offensive linemen are even famous. Like Lane Johnson is a personality.
Jordan
Jordan Mailata is famous for singing in addition to being a great left tackle. Jason Kelsey is going to be on national TV analyzing everything this team does. Oh, did I mention the head coach is one of the biggest, loudest personalities in the NFL who talks trash to opposing fan bases on the sideline and under the stadium? Did I mention their security guard's a big personality?
Big dog. Free Big Dog.
Everything about this team is outsized and primed to go sideways if things don't go well. And what do we know? An NFL season is full of adversity. They'll lose a game. They'll have a game where maybe they get away from the run game in the second half or they struggle with turnovers. Can Jalen Hurts rally that? And that's his calling card. He's got thick skin. He's cool as a cucumber. Can Jalen Hurts rally all of those personalities and keep it all focused on the end goal? Because that wasn't always the case last year. I mean, we don't have to pull up the clips of the infighting and the arguing on the sidelines. Like, we all saw that stuff happen. We saw the story come out a couple weeks ago about how maybe Jalen and Sirianni weren't on the same page. That stuff is there. It might not be an issue if they do well, but if they don't, can Jalen Hurts keep it all on track and keep them going?
Let me build on that point.
That's what I want to see.
What I love about doing this show right here, right now, at this very moment is I'm sitting with DeSean Jackson. I'm sitting with Shady McCoy, and it's almost deja vu what you're saying. Because in 2011, 12, 13, the Eagles had huge personalities. DeSean Jackson was playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Shady McCoy playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Brent Selleck at tight end was a big personality. Evan Mathis at guard was a big personality for a guard. Jason Peters was a big personality. The Eagles had huge personalities. So Shady and Jack, I'll ask y'all both separately, but please answer. Jack, answer first for me. What did McNabb, what did Mike Vick, what did your quarterbacks do to make sure that, okay, if Shady went for 200, but Jack only had 5 targets and had 42 yards, what did your quarterbacks do to make sure that y'all were happy?
Let's take a light on McNabb. You know, we ain't going to touch on too much McNabb, but I think, honestly, as far as a quarterback, right, and it's only one ball that could go around that football field, right? So you have to somewhat manage it, and I talked about it a little bit in my segment, right? And managing the football, making it simple. You know what I'm saying? If it's a play call, get the ball to where it needs to go to, right? A.J. Brown, you see how he can get if he's not getting the ball. Devontae Smith is not similar so much that guy, right? Yeah. So as far as that, I mean, get the ball, distribute it, right? Let's make it easy. At the end of the day, I was going to ask you that. Do you think it's going to be a soap opera? I mean, because it can get messy, but it's on the quarterback to manage that. And I think Jalen Hurts, we need more out of him from the leader role. We need him to step up and take the responsibility of making it, you know, real responsible for the guys to get the ball. And let's keep it simple.
Would y'all get more upset at Andy Reid, or would y'all get more upset at the quarterback when y'all didn't get the touches that y'all desired?
I'll go to certain situations, right, and scenarios. So McNabb, we were young when McNabb, so it was more of like, okay, whatever he needs to do, we're going to do. I didn't get the ball really at all, maybe 8 touches a game, but that was okay. DeSean was more of the highlight reel type player, but even he still was younger. He still was kind of getting his own. When we was with Michael Vick, it was different. I was there in games where Macklin, now DeSean was always the main guy, but Macklin might go for, I don't know, 8 targets for 115 yards. D-Jack might not get as much, right, for this game. And Jack over there, hey, Jack ain't happy. He is not happy. And I remember Mike trying to say, yo, calm down, I'm going to get you the ball, right? And you know, us talking and trying to figure it out. But one thing is, like, it's always respect. I think you love when a player is competitive and he wants the ball, right? He never was detrimental to the team from wanting the ball, but it was more of, I want to compete. Oh, my boy going off, I want to get off. I'll give you an example. We was in an Atlanta game, right? You remember this game? And Mike Vick's balling out. He's coming back to Atlanta, right? And I'm going off too, actually. Just to be honest, I'm going off.
By the way.
But Mac was having a better game. DeSean gets hurt or something like that. And out of nowhere, he comes back. We're like, dang, dog, you all right? He said, yeah, man. I see y'all balling. I got a ball. But you need that because you need everybody to be on their P's and Q's. If he's balling, it makes me want to ball.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Now, what you can't have is issues. So it's like everybody makes it a big deal on A.J. Brown, right? You see him, A.J. Brown, going at it. That's everybody. This is how you see it. Philadelphia is a big market, so it's going to be talked about. If I told you a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, and that's my boy, don't get mad at me. If I tell you a guy like Larry Fitzgerald would get mad if he didn't get the ball, people won't believe that because they see him, he's smiling, right? He's not really talking about it, but he upset. That's the nature of this game. And I think if you don't have that, I don't think you can win. Tyreek, I'll give you another one, last one, because this is a good one. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. 2019, I was on that team, championship team. And there was times where Tyreek Hill didn't get the ball. He might not be vocal about it, but you can tell because he got a big personality. Travis Kelce's one of the best teammates you can play with. He might not get the ball. He ain't gonna talk about it, but you can know that he's upset. So my thing is, if you have a team where players cool with not getting the ball, I play with Sammy Watkins, a beast. And I said, yo, man, you ain't get the ball since the first quarter. We in the fourth quarter, and you smiling and dapping everybody up. I got a problem with that. And guess what? What Sammy was so great, the only thing I would say about Sammy Watkins, he didn't have a competitive nature in his system. And it hurt him. So if you do got that competitive nature, you're going to be mad if you're not getting the rock. Me, I need the ball. I need the rock.
That's very well said. Well, Aaron Rodgers, he just needs to play.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.